Hey PJs, welcome back to another video. You are staring at my counter right now because I didn't know where to put you because I'm doing it, obviously by the title, a behind the scenes of what it's like making a video. What you won't see is just the aftermath of me like editing and putting everything together, but you will see what I do when I'm actually editing. I wanted to show you guys my nail. If you guys watched my last video, you'll see that the nail is completely missing, and I was trying to show you guys that it's just kind of stuck there and it was like too painful to take it off, and as I was messing with it, a chunk fell off and I was actually able to pull it off, but it's only this video and the video you saw previously because I spent my whole like day on Thanksgiving trying to peel the rest off, so my nails are all brittle, but they're off now, so my nails are taking a break. So the first thing I do before I film is take off my wedding ring. I don't like to get any slime on it, so I just leave it in a safe place because my cats like to take everything and eat everything, so I put them somewhere where they don't touch for at least 5 minutes, and then I'll just clean my hands, make sure there's no debris or anything, and then I will go and prep the back room. So I'll go back there, obviously, turn the lights on, and if my hands are feeling a little dry, which they were today, which doesn't happen too often, but it's probably the weather, I'll put a little bit on, and usually it's less than this, probably like half of it, and the reason is because if I'm messing with anything like a clear slime or just slime in general, I don't like to add a lot to my hands because it can mess up the texture of the slime, so I just keep it as bare as possible. Then I'll set up my tripod, and if it's a cloudy day like it was on this day, I'll set up my third camera, or light, not camera, so I can just create light like a little more, because like if I don't have natural light, it does make a huge difference. Then I will grab whatever I'm doing for filming. This was for the Peachy Babies re-review, so I grabbed the slimes I had from her. If I have like a new slime like box to open or whatever, the box will already be sitting on the table because that's where I put it after I get the package in the mail. And then I'll continue by writing down on my paper what I'm doing for that day. Usually if it, again, is a new review, I will already have written this, but it's always in this format. I'll write down the slimes, what they are usually, and I'll write down more information again if it's a new review. But since it's a re-review, I don't have to write down too much. Then I'll put my thoughts, I'll circle them, and I'll also circle the review or the rating area, so it's a lot easier to remember where everything is. I don't know, it's a lot easier to read my notes. Right before I start filming, I'll add the rings to my hands. Those are obviously the ones I've been using for a while, and then I'll readjust the camera. I'll just zoom out until it looks smooth and like not angled or anything, and then I will start recording. And this is where I was in the middle of the very first slime. I was just going to show you that like I'll take a lot of breaks in between so I can write down my thoughts, which is what this part is for. I like to write as I'm doing the review because I used to not, and I'd forget a lot of points until after already made the video, so I like to just kind of write, and you can see kind of what I do. I'll even write the weirdest notes. This one was a little more normal, but this is kind of just what it looks like so I can remember what to say in the video. But you guys know I talk a lot, so I don't need a lot of information. I'll just keep talking. After I'm done filming, this is what the notes look like. Again, there would be a lot more if I was doing a new review, but since this is a re-review, I just write down what I need to remember from what happens. And then with the slimes that I have, I'll just put the ones that need to deflate over on the side, and then the ones that don't, I'll put back on the shelf. I just keep the ones that are inflated on my desk so that if they spill over, they don't go like all over my stuff, because where I put them back, it's not like a regular shelf. You guys have seen it. It's like a wired shelf, so it'll get everywhere. I've made that mistake before, so I just put them on the table. After that, I do all my cleanup, which means turning off my lights, shutting the door, making sure everything is clean, washing my hands, taking my cat out of the room because she likes to sit behind me as I'm filming. This time she was actually really good, but sometimes she starts crying if I'm not giving her enough attention. She just loves attention, but I'll make sure that I take her out of the room. And this video went extremely quickly, but there's not a lot to talk about. Also, I'm so glad this was a shorter video. If you can't tell, I'm like swallowing a lot as I'm talking and stuff. My throat has not been very nice to me. As I'm talking, I can feel like the tightness in my throat. I've had tonsil stones, and it's just not been fun, so I'm glad this is a shorter video. Also, I never leave enough time for me to talk. Anyways, this is the cleanup part. Enjoy my weird looking sink, but that's pretty much it. And then afterwards, I'll usually do the thumbnail, and then usually the next day I'll do the voiceover just to give myself a little bit of a break. You guys don't get to see how much time actually goes into the voiceover. After a solid 5 minutes, my voice starts to crack and I'll get jumbled on my words, kind of like how I did in this video, but I think that's excused because I feel sick and gross and it's just not been a good day for me, but you know, whatever. But it could take me upwards of 2 hours to do a 10-minute voiceover depending on how it goes. It can also take even longer because my cats like to cry, as you can probably hear in the background, especially Rika, which is the one walking up to me now. She loves attention. She always cries when I'm trying to film and do voiceover, so I always have to break and give her attention. Speaking of which, she's sitting at my feet waiting for me to throw her ball, so I am signing off, and I will see you guys in the next one.